And welcome back. And it's the 7th of Feb, Corbett 5 a day, further maths. And let's go with the first question, if I'm getting it lined up properly. Right, circle question. A circle has equation, state with a reason whether this circle intersects with the y-axis. Okay, good question. Nice way of sort of expressing a question. So the centre of my circle is 6 minus 2. And the radius of my circle is root 40. Now, a quick diagram will help me explain this better. So 6 minus 2 goes across 6 and down 2. So it's somewhere here, right? Intersects with the y-axis. So in other words, I need to see whether the distance from the centre to the y-axis is less or more than the square root of 40. Well, it must be the case. In fact, actually, I don't need to do a lot of working here, do I? So the square root of 40 is approximately, well, it's going to be more than 6 and less than 7, but let's write it down anyway. So the square root of 40 is 6.3. So I just need to make some statement that's 6.3. So I just need to make some statement that 6.3 is greater than 6, which is this x value here, therefore intersects with y-axis. And question done. Next question. That was much easier than it looked, wasn't it? How many solutions of tan x equals k, where k is greater than 0, are there between 0 and 450? Right. This is why I prefer drawing diagrams and not the cast diagram, but of course that's up to you. I'm going to mark it every 90 degrees. So 450 means, well, 450 divided by 9 is 5. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks of 90. And if I draw those in, so my asymptotes are here. I'm going to try and do a decent job of this. So my asymptotes are here, which means my graph looks something like this. Comes down and goes up, and then basically it just repeats and keeps repeating. Actually, that's it. Stop there. Then it says k is greater than 0, so it's somewhere on this line here, and I'm going to go across and see how many there are. So there's 1, 2, 3 intersections, so my answer to this one is going to be 3. Had it said k was less than 0, it'd be 2, because there's only 2 lines below the axis, but k is greater than 0, so it's 3. Next question. These are nice little mix of questions today. A curve has equation x cubed minus 3x squared plus 1. Work out the coordinates of the stationary points. Right, now interestingly, it looks a lot like a stationary point is on the y-axis, but let's give this a go anyway. Stationary points means differentiate. So dy dx is equal to 3x squared minus 6x. I'm wondering why the diagram looks like that, but I'm going to continue anyway. Oh, I've just worked it out, yeah. Stationary points are where x equals, dy dx is 0. So if I solve this, it's where 3x minus 2 is equal to 0, which means x equals 0 or x equals 2. Now I want the coordinates, so I need the y values as well. So I'm going to put the y values back into here. In other words, I'm going to do at x equals 0, do this neatly, y equals 0 plus 0 plus 1, which equals 1. And at x equals 2, y equals x cubed is 8. X squared is 4 times 3 is minus 12 plus 1. So 8 minus 12 is minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3, which gives me minus 3. So the answer to my question, or the question, is going to be 0, 1 and 2 minus 3. Quick sort of sanity check at the graph. That looks kind of correct, doesn't it? So I'm happy with that. Next question. And final question today. Solve. Okay, good question. Right, now I'm dividing by x, so this is just a little trick just to be careful of. It must be the case that x doesn't equal 0. I don't need it here, but I'm going to write that just because it's good to get in the habit of noting these things. It might come up later in an answer. So if I now solve this, I'm going to multiply everything by x squared, which is going to give me 3 minus 5x minus 12x squared is equal to 0. Then I'm going to multiply everything by minus 1 and rearrange. So that's going to be 12x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. Now, can I factorise? Well, let's give it a go. 12 is a bit of a difficult one because it could be 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. I'm going to guess at 3 and 4. It typically is. Doesn't mean it always is. By the way, my rule for this is if I don't get it after a minute, quadratic formula, get my calculator out. Now, on the numbers, minus 3 means I'm going to have a minus 1 and a 3, or a 3 and a minus 1. Quick thought here. 4 times minus 1, let's work it out. Yeah, 4 times minus 1 is minus 4, and 3 times plus 3 is 9, and 9 minus 4 is 5, and that's what I'm trying to get, so I'm happy that's true. Now, it's just, some of you might be sitting there thinking, how did I get that? It's frankly just a bit of experience. But do practice that. It's quite a good skill to have, save you time in the exam. Either way, that equals 0, which means x is equal to minus 3 over 4, or x is equal to 1 over 3. And that is today done. I'm not even going to say nice mix of questions, but it is. Either way, do like, subscribe. Subscribing really does help. So especially if you're just watching random videos, just help me grow the channel a bit. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you for tomorrow. Thanks all.